The Celtics are the NBA champions in 2024. The Panthers are struggling after being up 3-0, which will bring us to our topic of the day, which is biggest playoff implosions. All this and more on our show, which starts now. The Celtics are NBA champions in 2024, taking out your Mavericks. How does that feel?
No comment.
No comment. Okay.
I'm just going to say we'll be back in 5 years and beat them in the rematch just like with the Heat.
Just like with the Heat. Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
All right. Well, that's what happened when they played the Miami Heat. Like you said, 5 years later, they came back and played the Heat and beat them, but there's no guarantees that they'll be back in 5 years. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but, they were down 3-0. And then in game 4, they blew out the Celtics. And I thought, holy moly, are the Mavericks going to make a turnaround? And I thought, maybe they'll go back to Boston. And maybe they'll pull one out over there. Come back, win in Dallas again, and then it'll have to be game 7. But didn't happen. Luka had a horrible game. Kyrie Irving was back on the milk carton. If you've seen this man, call this number. Horrible, horrible game. And now the Celtics are the NBA champions in 2024. They have lifted up banner number 18, which is one more than the Lakers. And now, Magic Johnson came out and posted on X, said it burns him to know that the Celtics are now, or they have 18 championships, which is one more than the Lakers.
Yes.
So, thoughts?
No, no thoughts, really.
No thoughts, really.
Nope. Other than the fact I do not want to talk about this.
Well, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So, the Celtics have won. The Mavericks are gone. Kyrie Irving came out and said, I like the core of players that we have. We'll see what happens. We'll see if they keep that core of players together. Luka says he's got a lot of work to do. I'll tell you, the biggest thing that Luka's got to work on. The biggest thing that Luka's got to work on is quit whining. Quit whining to the refs. The refs can really make a game go one way or another. And if you're complaining to the refs all the time, guess what the refs are going to do? They're going to get tired of hearing you. And they're not going to call anything. Shut up. Play the game. If they call a foul, they call a foul. If they don't, they don't. And that's what his teammates were trying to tell him. Don't whine to the refs. And he just kept on. So, Luka's got some work to do. Kyrie's got to work. The guy's got some work to do. Yeah. He cannot disappear in the finals like that. But I was reading a article yesterday where it said who are the main contenders for next year's championship.
Celtics.
Number 1, Celtics.
It's always like that every year. The team that won last year is always number 1.
Number 1, Celtics. But coming in at number 3, the Mavericks.
Who's number 2?
I don't remember who number 2 is. I don't want to say the Lakers. But
it could not have been anywhere.
It may have been the Timberwolves.
It could have not been the Lakers at all. The Lakers are nowhere near.
No, I think it was, if I remember right, it might have been Celtics and Timberwolves. It was the top 5. I know Cleveland was on there.
Really?
Yeah. But I know the Mavericks are number 3. So we'll see what happens. Can they come back next year and make a run like they did this year? They got to work on strengthening their roster. The other thing that didn't help was Jason Kidd putting his belief and faith in Tim Hardaway Jr., who had 5 threes in game 4. And then he shrunk.
Yeah.
He took one shot. In the 9 minutes that he played, he took one shot, which is a 3-pointer, and he missed. So, if the coaching is putting their trust in you and you're going out there and you're not taking the shots, that's on you. But Tim Hardaway cannot play like that. Tim Hardaway cannot play like that. Especially Jason Kidd putting his belief in him. It just didn't do anything. So I don't know. I was hoping for a better series. I was hoping it would go 7.
I think everyone was hoping for a better series.
So, but things happen. And now the Celtics have raced number 18th.
Yeah.
So, got some work to do. Your team's got some work to do. I know my team has got lots of work to do. The Bulls are a long ways off. Yeah. So, my hope is that one day the Bulls will be good again. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But your Mavericks are right there. They're in the cusp.
Hey, we were runners-up this year.
They runners-up, and they were in the Western Conference Final not too long ago, right?
Yeah.
So they've got the core players there. They just need to shore up some things. I think the Mavericks will, if they keep their core players together, if Kyrie does Kyrie's things, Luka does Luka's things, and then the rest of the cast sprinkles their own stuff in there, it wouldn't surprise me to see the Mavericks race a championship next year. It'll be Larry O'Brien Trophy raced by Luka. We'll see. I don't know. So, I'm looking at your board over there. And of course, you guys know we watch WWE, we watch wrestling.
Yeah, so pretty chaotic stuff happened Monday.
Yeah.
Throughout the whole show.
Yep.
The show literally kicked off with Seth freaking Rollins returning.
Yep.
So that pretty much set the tone for the whole night.
Yeah.
And then I remember at another point, Drew McIntyre quit the WWE, which in reality probably just taking some time off to spend with his wife who just had surgery not too long ago. And then at the end of the show, right after Jey Uso qualified for the Money in the Bank, the lights went out and the Uncle Howdy faction debuted.
Yep. They've been playing this thing for
since February.
Since February.
Since before WrestleMania.
And people were getting tired of the QR codes. Like, oh, come on, keep dragging it out. Even Michael Cole, at the last SmackDown last week before Clash at the Castle said, "Oh, not this QR crap code again." So, Uncle Howdy made his debut, and the reason I bring this up because on your board you say you have. Is Chad Gable alive? Question mark.
Yes. There's pretty much a slaughter in the back. Apparently, there's people saying a lot more wrestlers other than Chad Gable got attacked. But the only one confirmed by WWE is Chad Gable right now. There's people coming out saying people like Triple H, Gunther, Ludwig, even freaking Cody Rhodes got attacked.
Yep. So did Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
Braun Strowman was running behind the Judgment Day, and apparently he was part of that. I missed Gunther, but I went back and replayed the video, and he's where Eric Rowan, who plays the bunny, Gunther was down there. It looked like Trick Williams was next to him, too.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
And, yeah.
So we'll see.
When they finally get to Uncle Howdy, just before, there's literally a shot with Chad Gable with what appears to be, I don't even know what type of wound in the head.
He had blood coming out of his temple.
Yeah.
So
I don't want to say a bullet wound, but it looked a lot like that.
Yeah. So,
or for all we know, he could have had a nail shoved in his head.
Could have.
It was a very interesting ending.
Well, they like I said, they've been playing this thing since February, like you said. So, Uncle Howdy and his faction, which is the Wyatt 5, of course, they're saying that it's supposed to be Wyatt 6, but the 6 member
SICK6 number.
Yeah,
the 6 number is Bray Wyatt, Spirit, and the Lantern.
Yes,
Bray Wyatt is the Lantern.
Bray Wyatt is the Lantern.
That is incredible.
Yeah. So, but you have Uncle Howdy being played by Bo Dallas.
Yes.
Sister Abigail, Nikki Cross.
Yes, which that thing That looked like straight up something out of The Exorcist whenever she exited the door.
Yep.
Like,
and then we talked about Eric Rowan, who they brought back to WWE.
I'm just glad they brought him back.
Yeah. Who was part of the Bludgeon Brothers, him and
the original Wyatt family.
Yep. With Luke Harper, who is no longer with us. He is in another world with Bray Wyatt. I'm sure they're scheming things up there, but Eric Rowan playing the bunny.
Yes.
And then you have the Buzzard.
Yes.
Being played by none other than Dexter Loomis.
Yes.
And then the pig, or whatever you want to call him, Mr. whatever they called him in the Firefly.
Huskus the pig.
Huskus the pig, Joe Gacy.
Yes.
So there's your Wyatt 6 stable with Bray Wyatt apparently being in spirit in the Lantern.
Yes.
So they came back and did their massacre like they've been planning for.
I just want to know what happens on Friday.
We'll see.
That's going to be a very interesting show.
Yep. We'll see what happens.
Could you imagine if they show up on SmackDown too?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
We'll see what kind of massacre they do on SmackDown. But
if they do one,
my only hope is this. My hope is after building this thing up for so long that it doesn't fizzle out. And that they keep building on this. I
don't think that'll happen with Triple H running creative now.
Yeah. It's going to be different because Bray Wyatt's not there anymore. I mean, this whole thing that when Bray Wyatt came back the first time, he was bringing Uncle Howdy and all that. Now that Bray passed away and is no longer there, where do they go? How do they play this story? How does this faction act moving forward?
You always start with the first thing that appears to happen after every Bray Wyatt return. And that's go after Braun Strowman. Or, be interesting, they build up to a WWE versus Wyatt 6 War Games later this year.
Good.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like they could build it up towards the faction versus the rest of the company.
Yep.
But I don't know. Those are the two options, I think. One, attack Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
And two, build up a thing like kind of like an invasion angle, but better.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Well, we'll see where they take it.
Which, that's actually not the only invasion angle going on in WWE right now.
No.
Because in NXT, TNA has arrived.
Yep.
And they've been collaborating since, I believe, before Battleground, if I'm correct.
Yep.
When the TNA Women's Something Champion appeared.
Mm-hmm.
And then she had a match with the
She was in the Royal Rumble.
Yes. And then she had a match with the NXT Women's Champion for the NXT Women's Championship. Yep. And just yesterday, I was going to watch NXT, but I completely forgot to. Yesterday, they had a 25-man Battle Royale to figure out who the current champ's opponent will be at the next pay-per-view.
Yeah.
And there was multiple TNA superstars. And one of them I wanted to highlight was the one and only Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry. Yeah. How does that song go?
Basically, say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry.
With some clapping going on.
If you watch back the replay, the NXT crowd is going insane the moment that music hits.
Yep.
What the heck? What was that?
Right. It's just a notification. I don't know why I did that,
but yeah, the crowd absolutely popped when he appeared.
Yeah.
And let's just say things didn't work out for him as he was the first one eliminated from the Battle Royal.
Oh man.
I'm hoping that they have him and other TNA stars on more.
Yeah.
And maybe bring some of them up to the main roster.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome seeing some of the feuds.
So the other rumor that's going around right now, Shane McMahon to AEW.
What?
Yep. It's been circling around. Is it going to happen? Shane McMahon to AEW. I don't know. I have no idea. But it's been circling around all week long. JR has talked about it in Grillin' JR, his podcast.
Ooh.
So He said, "Is it going to happen? I don't know." But why would they be playing it? So I'm going to watch tonight. We'll see if Mr. Here Comes the Money shows up in AEW.
That would be insane.
Yeah.
What would he even do though?
I don't know. I mean, I don't. Is he going to be part owner with Tony Khan? I don't know. I have no idea.
It'd be the WCW purchase all over again.
Yep. So, but we'll see what happens. I mean, that's what the rumor is. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to happen.
That is very weird.
Yep. So, I don't know. We'll see.
Well, moral of that story: you can never take McMahon out of wrestling.
No, you can't. You cannot. And Vince has been gone, but so has been Shane McMahon.
Yes, and WWE only recently brought back Stephanie McMahon.
Yeah. Yeah, she did. She came back. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But WWE got some things going on with the Uncle Howdy.
It's probably the best it's been.
Yeah.
In years right now.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty good. It's a little interesting. It's a little interesting. So we'll see which way they take it. But like I said, I hope that they didn't do all this thing and brought them and then they fizzle out.
No, I think it'll be different now with Triple H as head of creative.
Yeah.
See, if Vince McMahon was still around, they would be lost in the mid card and be released by January 1st, 2025.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's gone.
He's gone. Vince is gone.
Triple H is the guy now.
Yep. So
yeah.
We'll see what happens. So that's WWE. All right, man. So let's go to our next segment, which is something that we watched last night. Let's do it. And that is the NHL. The Florida Panthers were up 3-0.
Oh my.
And now the Edmonton Oilers have won the last two.
That doesn't change anything.
Game 4, they blew the Panthers out 8-1.
Yeah, that was.
And then last night we watched it. The Oilers were actually up 4-1 at one point, and the Panthers came back and made it 4-3. We watched a lot of shots go by.
And then at the end of the game, they made, in my opinion, the stupid decision to have an empty net.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most teams do that.
I think that's dumb. You always want to have someone there. Protect. Like, why would you bring your goalie out and then you have something like what happened with 17 seconds left?
Well, because you're trying to score. You're trying to put another extra offender out there, somebody else that can score. You're taking a chance.
Yeah.
And that's what happened. Now, the shot, it was a pretty cool play, though. You got to admit, you got to give to Chuck credit because that guy hustled all the way back and he actually saved the puck from going in.
That was him that saved it?
That was him.
Well, it didn't matter.
He dove and then he swiped the puck from going in, but it landed right to Connor McDavid, and McDavid just he put it in.
Yeah.
So the Panthers lose 5-3 last night. Now they're going back to Alberta, Canada, eh?
But that doesn't change anything.
Doesn't change anything.
It does not change anything.
They're still up 3-2.
Yes, they still have that advantage.
And Edmonton has been known to implode at home as well. So the Panthers, after being up 3-0 in the series, are now struggling with the Oilers making a comeback, and they are now down 3-2.
I think
we'll see what happens when they go back to Edmonton.
I think they're fine. I think they're going to win Game 6 tomorrow and finish the story.
Finish the story.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's going to happen tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you want to finish it tomorrow.
Yes.
Well, actually, it's not tomorrow.
Well, Friday.
They've got like 2 or 3 days off.
Yeah, Fridays.
So it'll be Friday. But
regardless, they have to finish the story.
Okay, they got to finish the story, Cody Rhodes. So, yep, they have to take care of business in Edmonton, because if they don't, and Edmonton comes back after tying the series 3-3, they're going to be in belief that they can win, and they've already won in Florida. So going back in Game 7, you're taking a chance with Edmonton stealing the Stanley Cup from underneath your nose after being up 3-0.
Yeah, if they did win on Friday, that would be like kind of sad and would kind of suck because it would be their first championship in history, but they wouldn't win it in front of their fans. There'd be like 2 Panther fans there because of the distance between Edmonton, Alberta, wherever it is in Canada, and Florida, where the Panthers play. 2,500 miles. Is what the flight is.
Okay.
So that would kind of suck, but I feel like regardless, they're going to get the job done because they know they have to and they know they need to. I want them to.
Yeah.
I hope they do.
Yeah.
I'm wishing they do.
You just don't want to see Edmonton win.
You're right. I don't.
So, oh, man. Oh, good God Almighty. So the Panthers, after being up 3-0, are down or not down, but they're only leading 3-2.
Yes. I feel like this would be a good transition to what's on your board.
That's right. So here, the transition from that, the NHL, to what's our topic of the week. As you know, I've been trying to come up with topics for us to talk about every week.
That's actually a good name. Topic of the week.
Topic of the week. So
with the juice.
With the juice. So our topic of the week, biggest playoff implosions.
I love these a lot because of how much you get to joke at fans of a team after they choke. I love these so much when it happens.
They've been a lot of biggest playoff implosions.
I can literally name some off the top of my head right now.
Okay, go.
All right, well, I'm going to start off with the most famous choke in the last 10 years and probably my personal favorite one, 28-3 in Super Bowl 51. Never, as long as I live, going to let Atlanta Falcons forget that night. Forget those 15 minutes. As much as I hate the fact that it had to be Tom Brady that came back.
Yep.
That was still pretty funny.
Yeah.
25 points. And then there's also the 2020 NLCS between the Los Angeles Dodgers and Atlanta Braves.
Yep.
When the Braves were up 3-1.
Yep.
And the Dodgers came back.
Yep.
And probably the most iconic comeback in all of sports history, playoff history, the 2003, if I'm correct, Yankees in the ALCS.
Yep.
Who blew a 3-0 lead against the Red Sox.
Yep.
Who would later go on to win the World Series.
Yep, that's the one that we always talk about when we talk about stuff like this. The New York Yankees choking out a 3-0 lead.
Yeah.
And Boston coming back and winning 4 in a row to defeat them.
That must have been pretty crazy. That whole week must have been pretty crazy to go through.
Yeah.
When Boston came back.
Yeah. I didn't even watch game 4 because I thought, these guys are done.
Did they go to extra innings?
They went to extra innings, and that was the David Ortiz home run.
I was about to say, wasn't that when David Ortiz hit?
Yep.
Excuse me. David Ortiz hit the home run?
Yep. That got him propelled, and it got him started again, and then they came back and won all 4 games.
Yes.
And then they went on and swept the Cardinals in
they swept
World
them.
Series. So
and won their first championship in 98 years, if I'm correct.
Yep.
96, 98 years.
So those are some of the biggest playoff implosions.
Yes. There is actually
up to date, but there's more.
There's more. One like lesser known one is the 1992 AFC wildcard game between the Houston Oilers and the Buffalo Bills.
That's the one that I remember the most.
Did you watch that game?
I did.
Wow.
I was rooting for the Oilers because the Cowboys were going to the Super Bowl. So this would have been the first Super Bowl for 2 teams from the same state facing each other.
Yes. So ultimately, that did end up being California 2 years later with the 49ers and the Chargers.
Yep.
But going back to that wildcard game, the Oilers were up by 5 touchdowns to the Buffalo Bills. And you know what happened?
They choked it out.
Probably the most embarrassing choke in NFL history.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That must have been crazy watching that game.
Yeah. I mean, I was sitting there watching, and I was watching in disbelief.
Wasn't that one of the 4 years that Buffalo lost in the Super Bowl?
Yeah. Yeah, that was the That was the third. That was our third.
That was the one where they got blown out by the Cowboys, right?
That was the one where they got blown up by the Cowboys. Yep.
Yes.
So the Cowboys took out the Buffalo Bills 52
to 17.
17.
It would have been 59 to 17. Had it not been for one Leon Lett.
Oh, Leon Lett.
Destroyer of games.
Yep, Leon Lett.
Because he also destroyed a game in Thanksgiving against the Dolphins in the 90, or maybe that same season. It may have been that same season.
It was a season after that.
The season after, where all he had to do was stay away from the ball against the Dolphins.
Yep.
And what does he do? He tries to get it, and it slips out of his hands, and the Dolphins grab it and win the game.
Yep. Well, so biggest implosion, the Oilers against the Bills is the one that sticks the most. It sticks the most in my mind.
Yes.
So, and that was the one that I was going to bring up after I had talked about what happened last year with the Boston Bruins also being up,
yes, that was the
leading
one,
the Panthers.
That was the one I kept trying to remember.
So,
yeah, and then I guess another NFL one that happened last year when the Chiefs won the first of their back-to-back wild card game between the Jaguars and the Chargers.
Yep.
When the Chargers were up 27-3 at the half or something
like that. It was kind of like
they were up at like 3 or 4 possessions, and the Jaguars came back, and they only got lucky because I think it was Joey Bosa started whining about some calls at the end of the game.
Yep.
And the Jaguars ended up winning.
Yep.
It didn't matter because they lost to the Chiefs the next week, but
still another implosion.
Yep.
Another implosion.
There's also near implosions too. One I can name off the top of my head, which is one I don't like to think about it often. 2020 NFC Divisional Round game between the Los Angeles Rams and Tampa Bay Buccaneers when 28-3 Part 2, 27-3 almost happened.
Yep.
But it didn't matter.
It didn't matter because Aaron Donald took over at the end.
Yes, and the Rams, I will say they got lucky, if I'm being honest. Because I think they had like when they started the play before the field goal they hit, there was like 17 seconds left. Matthew Stafford says Cooper Kupp's probably down there somewhere and just goes, wow.
He just rigged it. Watch your camera there.
Yeah. So. And Cooper Kupp caught it, and they hit the field goal. Next play to win the game.
Yeah.
Another one almost happened. Boston Celtics and the Miami Heat.
Yeah. That was last year. Yeah.
When the Heat, if I'm correct, almost blew a 3-game lead.
Yep.
But they ended up winning Game 7.
Game 7. But they were up 3-0, and they almost imploded. But they ended up pulling it out. So there has been a lot of implosions, near implosions in sports, and they're fun to watch.
Unless it's your team.
Unless it's your team. So, I mean, Boston Red Sox versus the Mets. They were getting ready to win.
I was going to mention that too. It wasn't really, was it? Were they like kind of collapsing the whole game?
Because
I know they were up 3-2.
But
it's really remembered for the Bill Buckner.
The Bill Buckner play behind the bag.
Yes.
Yep. So, and then they came back and they won. The Mets won that game, and then they won the next night
and extended the Red Sox drought.
Yep.
By 17 years.
Yep.
17 years. Their drought would have only been like 70 something years long. But
Yep. So
the Mets said, and wanted to win. Was that the last time the Mets won the World Series?
86. Yes.
Because I know they made it to the World Series.
Yeah.
Whenever I think it was the Royals that won it.
Yeah.
Which was almost 10 years ago now.
Yep. So, and then one of the other ones that sticks in my mind as well, I was just thinking about it, was the, good God. You threw me off whenever you started talking about the Mets, but I was thinking about it. Anyways.
Oh, wait, actually, Cubs and Cleveland in the 2016 World Series.
Yeah, the Cubs were up. Or the Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Browns. The Cleveland Indians. I know you're going to say Guardians, but to me, they're Indians.
Cleveland was up 3-1.
3-1.
And blew it.
Yeah, and blew it.
And they still haven't won a World Series since 1949, which is now 75 years.
Yep.
Sad. Very sad.
So.
And then one more before we move on. This is one that pains me so much to say. 2023 NFC Championship game between the Detroit Lions and the 49ers. The Lions were up by what? 3 touchdowns going into the second half?
Yep.
Then they fumbled and ran away from the run game.
Yep.
That's what you say, that they stopped with the run game
Mm-hmm.
after the Lions fumbled once.
Yep.
And freaking Dan Campbell going for the fourth downs, the 2 points. It just hurt. It just hurt to watch.
So there's been a lot of those implosions or near implosions. So
yes, always fun unless it happens to your team.
Yep. So I'm still trying to think of the one that I was talking about. So
what the heck?
Anyways, another notification.
Oh,
was
this something about like what's new?
Yeah, well,
we got some new software recently.
No, we got a new laptop, and apparently the battery is low, so it stopped the recording. So I'm glad that you have your thing plugged in over there. So
yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, biggest implosions in playoffs. A lot of them have happened. The Mets, the Red Sox series, the Yankees, Red Sox, the Bruins, Panthers, the
Falcons, Patriots,
Oilers, Bills. I mean, there's just been a lot of them.
It goes on and on.
So there was one that I was thinking there for a minute, and whenever you started talking about the Mets,
do you remember what sport it was?
I don't remember. I think I want to say it was baseball, but I'm not trying. I don't remember exactly which one it was. So
yeah, no.
But there's been a lot of implosions for sure.
The only other baseball choke I can think of is the Rangers 2011 World Series.
That's the one I was thinking about. Yeah,
the freaking Nelson
Cruz, yes.
Where all he had to do was just put his
They were one strike away.
Yes,
one strike away, and they were up a lot in that game.
Yes,
and they just made a lot of mistakes at the end
to prevent the whole catch. Don't even let him hit. Just throw that final strike, and you win your first World Series title 12 or 13 years before you finally won it in reality.
Yep.
But I don't know. Even so, Nelson Cruz, that was an easy catch.
Yep.
All he has to do is just jog back. But no, he must have been thinking fast, being the hero. So he went and was like, ugh.
Yeah.
And then the ball. Extra innings.
Yeah.
And Cardinals extended it to Game 7 and won.
Yep. So he thought that he was going to catch that ball, but
a very enraging moment for Rangers fans.
He also thought he was going to hit the wall, and so he kind of pulled up a little bit. But very, very hurtful World Series for the Rangers fans. Of course, they won it last year, so that's been erased.
Those demons have been exorcised.
They have been exorcised, those demons.
And apparently Nelson Cruz retired mere hours after that World Series ended.
No, he didn't.
He didn't?
No. Nelson Cruz just retired last year.
That was last year.
After the Rangers
mere hours after he announced his retirement.
Yeah. So a lot of playoff implosions, but that was the one that was on my mind, was the Rangers against the Cardinals, where they were leading that series, and it looked like the Rangers were going to win that after the year before when they dropped to Garris Reynard's Giants.
Which that series wasn't even close.
It wasn't even close. But they kind of blew that. A lot of implosions in playoffs, and a lot of them have happened here recently.
I just thought of one more. Kevin Harvick 2020 NASCAR playoffs. He was tied for the most wins in the regular season. He won 7 times. In the playoffs, he slashed through the whole thing. And at the end of the race before Phoenix, the championship race at Martinsville, if I'm correct, where Chase Elliott won to make it to the championship, he had to pass Kyle Busch. And you know what he did? The one thing you never do to Kyle Busch. And that was attempt to wreck him. Because Kyle Busch will always save himself.
Yep.
And you know what happened to Kevin Harvick? His car spun around too. He backed into the wall and was eliminated.
Yep.
About 100 feet from the finish line.
Yep. So
I could go on and on for hours.
Choke it out. So, but that is our topic of the week. Biggest playoff implosions.
Topic of the week.
The topic of the week. So, but anyways, So that is the one topic I wanted to talk about, just because of what's been going on. After watching the Mavericks blow out the Celtics, I thought, are they going to make a comeback? Of course, they didn't.
No.
But then watching the Oilers last night coming back on the Panthers, so are they going to implode? Who knows? So,
do you think we can do some freestyle?
Yeah.
All right. Well, Chiefs got their 4th Super Bowl ring recently.
Yep.
And unfortunately, sad, there is a typo on it.
There's a typo on it. You told me about that.
Yes, on it. On the inside of the ring, it lists the teams that they beat and the seed number they were. First team. This enrages me so much as a statistics guy, history guy. This frustrates me so much. Miami Dolphins are put in as the 7th seed instead of the 6th seed.
Instead of the 6th seed.
The Steelers were the 7th seed. I don't know who made the rings, but they were probably fired.
Well, probably. And I read this morning that all the Chiefs players are having to turn their rings in.
I just read this thing that
fix that.
Travis Kelce says it makes them more exclusive.
Yeah.
Which it does, but come on.
I don't think they need to turn them in. I think they need to save those, let the players keep those, and just give them a new one.
Well, yeah. Well, the ring itself looks pretty nice.
Yep.
In my opinion, it looks better than the Patriots' 4th Super Bowl ring.
Yeah.
With the way, because the way the Lombardi trophies are laid out, the Chiefs, it's like got 2 in the front, 2 in the back. Whereas the Patriots, they're all lined up, and one of them is just randomly sticking out at your face.
Yeah.
It's weird. But honestly, I kind of like the ring a lot.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat. It's kind of been going with the same type of scheme that they've been doing for the last few seasons that they've won it.
Yep.
Some pretty great references, because I like to look at these things really. Oh yeah, that's actually what I was going to mention. On the inside of the ring, you can open it up, which that's the thing now. You open up rings, which is a very easily way to lose a piece of a ring.
Yeah.
But you open it up, and it shows inside the Tom and Jerry play that they used to win the game.
The Tom and Jerry play. Yep.
Yes.
It's inscribed on the bottom of the top of the ring when you open it up. But there's another deal in there that's kind of neat, and that is the Lombardi Trophy.
Yeah, the 7
confettis.
I think that was like that reference how many points they scored in the second half, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have the little, you know how they blow out the confetti at the end of the Super Bowl? That's what it looks like, or that's what they put in there.
Yeah. Here you go.
So.
Yeah, and honestly, overall, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Hopefully, next year, normally I would say hopefully next year's the Rams, but this year I'm going to say hopefully next year it's not a SF on that ring.
Hopefully not. Hopefully not. No.
That would disgust me so much.
I know it's not going to happen. We're probably going to get the 30 years up here, but I don't want the 49ers to get the 6th first.
Yeah, before the Cowboys.
I want the Cowboys to get it first.
Well, you never know. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
And with all the theorists, all the Aaron Rodgers people thinking that the NFL is scripted, maybe if it actually is, who knows? Maybe they're a little nice to the Cowboys this year and give them a one-off, like with the Rams a few years ago.
Yeah, well, I don't see that happening. But speaking of Aaron Rodgers,
what did he do?
What did he rubbing his teammates in New York the wrong way?
What did he do this time?
He is not showing up to any of the mini camps. Nothing.
Oh, he does that every year.
Yeah, I know he does that every year.
He's been doing that every year since he left Green Bay.
You would think that he would be a little bit different this year, being that he didn't play at all last year and come back and try to practice with his teammates. But
he got injured 4 plays in.
Yeah, I know. But he is AWOL. He is meditating. He's hallucinating.
He's in his darkness retreat.
Underground. He's living the hippie life. So teammates are not happy with him. So that does not bode well. We'll see what happens. The Jets might implode this year as well.
Well, I think, yeah.
So
all the people that think the Jets are going to make it even close to the playoffs this year.
Yeah. Not going to happen.
I'm just going to say it. No, you're wrong.
Yep.
Let's just say, while Aaron Rodgers may or may not get injured 4 plays in again.
Yep.
He's not going to do anything.
No, I don't think so.
How long is his contract anyways with the Jets?
I think he's only got like 1 year left, maybe 1 or 2 years. It's not very much. So,
well, it was either that or go attempt to be vice president of the United States.
Yeah, I don't see that happening either.
Yeah, no.
So,
yeah, no, just no. Aaron Rodgers doing usual Aaron Rodgers things.
Yep. So, all right, man. Well, you got anything else? Because if not,
well, I know this is probably already pretty commonly known, but the Olympics are starting next week, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Which, that's cool. I'm not really into the Olympics that much.
Yep.
But it's still cool that that they start next week.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and we'll probably watch some of that.
Yeah. Oh, I just remembered. Last year, I said Josh Allen's career is over. And this year, because of the Madden cover, and this year, I am so excited, so happy, so joy-filled to announce that the career that will be ended this year is one and only Christian McCaffrey.
Oh, is he on the cover?
Yes. Oh, no one could care less, though, because college football 25 is coming out soon. And that's going to be the first college football game in 11 years, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, the cover is him running past some Raiders players.
Hey, go Raiders! So
yeah, and yes, they're just going to call it Madden 25 again, because whenever they actually had the 25th anniversary in 2014, they actually renamed that game Madden 25 instead of Madden 14. And me, up until I was like 10, I always wondered what's going to happen when we get to the year 2024 when Madden 25 comes out.
Yeah.
You know what EA did?
What?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Like they always do.
Madden 25.
Madden 25. Madden. So. Only difference is you could call this Madden 25 2024.
2024.
Yes. And I guess it would make sense because the other game is really like, I think they wanted it to be defined more as Madden 25th, you know?
Yeah.
That makes sense. But I don't know. Could you imagine? You know what would have been funny? If they called the game this year Madden 14.
Oh, no.
That would have been so funny.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
But regardless, I'm happy that there's 2 curses on the 49ers this year.
We'll see.
2 amazing curses. The Super Bowl curse and the Madden curse.
We'll see.
They got the 1-2 Mike Tyson Muhammad Ali combo on them.
All right, I think you're starting to get a little too hyper and too overblown. So, all right, man. Well, that brings us to the end of our show. We hope you enjoyed it. As always, hit that like and subscribe button wherever it's going to be. And if I don't forget to put it in again,
the Superman punch.
The Superman punch.
To like and subscribe.
So hit it. Make sure you click on the little bell so that notifies you when we put new content out. Write us some comments. Let us know how we're doing. We'd love to hear from y'all.
Do whatever.
But anyway, we hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. We enjoyed bringing it to you. And as always, you're my pride and joy, and I love you. And this is Bloodline Sports.
It's all relative. Goodbye, everyone.